Hi, everybody. This is Alan Fine. I'm here with Randall Soy, who's the Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Regent Seven Seas Cruises. And we're going to talk about the cruise line, how it's been doing during the crisis, and where it's headed. And this is Insider Travel Report. So, Randall, thank you for talking to us. We appreciate it. This is the first time we're having you on. We've had Jason Montague on, the president, and it's nice to have you join forces with us. So, where are you and how are you?
Wow, Alan, good morning. Thank you very much for having me, and I am honored to be making my debut with you this morning. I am in South Florida at our home just west of Fort Lauderdale, and trying to make the best of whatever the situation may be. So thank you. We're healthy, and my family's healthy, and that is extremely important to us.
Good to hear. So let's start off by asking you, how's Regent been dealing with the crisis so far? I mean, what's been happening to your ships and your crew?
Wow. It's an interesting question, because I will tell you, there's quite an evolution in this in terms of what happened at the beginning of the pandemic as we work through it, the various suspensions as the weeks and months roll on in terms of how we are all doing. And it's been hard on everyone. And certainly, I think for us at Regent Seven Seas Cruises, as part of the Norwegian family, the family is really, really important. And whether it's our coworkers, people who have family members or friends and so forth affected, to people with frontline, healthcare workers and their family that we couldn't thank enough, to dealing with our travel advisor partners and our guests and what this means. And it's been very, very interesting to see the dynamics, both on the strength of those relationships, some of the frustration and aggravation as we move forward, and then the joy and resiliency along the way. So it's been quite a roller coaster ride, and I know one that I'll never forget. But all in all, I could not be more proud of our team members who are working tirelessly. We're blessed, I think, with one of the best passenger services groups in the industry. And I know it's been a challenge for a lot of advisors in dealing with long hold times and so forth on some other brands, and even with us. But honest to God, we're trying our best. And I think we're doing well.
Is everybody home and repatriated and all that?
Not everyone as of yet. Obviously, it's a yeoman's effort to do that. We've made a great effort. And one of the strengths, I think, about being part of Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings is that for us, Oceania, and for Regent, we were able to move crew members and so forth around on the ships to repatriate them effectively. So, we've got ships now, a couple are in Europe, two in Italy in particular, one off the northern coast of Florida, one in Northern California, and one had just left Southern California. It's all over. But most of our team members have been repatriated, and those that needed to stay on board are. And then also for those that were able to get home to their families and loved ones, we certainly made that possible as effectively as we could. But also that's challenging given that some of the bans and ways that it was difficult to get some of our team members home. But they're all doing fairly well. Thank you for asking.
Were you able to keep most of the people? Are they furloughed? How did that work out?
Well, our operational and shipboard HR teams is working tirelessly to keep them engaged, because as many of your subscribers and the advisors know, the crew members on board Regent Seven Seas Cruises are the strength of our brand, and it's important. And I will tell you that I've been so amazed at the connection and their recognition of how valuable they are to our guests. So we've done a lot of things to try and increase connectivity with them, dialogues, FaceTime Live, some other things, Facebook Lives, and some other things where we're connecting crew members with staff and then also with guests. To me, that is one incredibly positive point of social media, is that we're able to do that and connect much better than we ever could before.
Well, talk about connection. So how has Regent been working with travel advisors on the cancellations, moments, and the refunds, and the future fuse credits? Tell me a history of that.
Wow. It's, at the end of the day, we're going to be judged by our advisor partners. I believe we're doing a great job. We can always do better. And that's kind of at the hallmark of Regent Seven Seas Cruises, is never to be content and always strive to do a little bit better. So it frustrates me sometimes to hear about people who were delayed in some respects, but I know that our passenger service, accounting, finance, and so forth, we're doing the best job we can. Now, for the most advisors, when I do Zoom calls with them or have town halls and so forth, both with our team members and with advisors are very appreciative of the efforts we're doing. And we appreciate them, obviously, but it sounds like we're doing okay. You can always do better. So on the refunds and commissions and so forth, we're getting those out as fast as humanly possible. Obviously, the commissions on the cancel cruises and then also on the future cruise credit, that was a big plus for advisors, and people appreciate that. So all in all, our relationship with the advisor community is really strong, and it's a big part of what we do.
Are you engaging with them currently?
Constantly. Always. The interesting thing, and we've got a very unique sales structure here in the United States and Canada. It's a little bit different that from our field salespeople, they have a smaller portfolio of accounts in some respects. And then we got some people based here in South Florida that deal with some other accounts. So we strongly encourage human connection. Now it's on phone or on FaceTime or whatever is good for the advisor. But we try and have deep and meaningful conversations as often as we can, to the point whereby we don't want to be annoying, but now it's the quality of the conversation and what that looks like. The challenge for our team is they are such solution-oriented individuals that they want to get people going to start, that next cruise marketing opportunity, and let's try and drive more business, all the while trying to service and, be a good friend and counselor to the advisor. So we're blessed to have great team members that understand what the advisors are looking for and try to address it as best we can.
When's the first scheduled cruise planned?
Good question. We don't have an answer for that.
Where will it sail?
Also still in development. I will tell you, and it's interesting to see, again, this is why for me, talking with you today, how things are different now than they were a few months ago. When we first announced suspensions, a big part of that announcement was the announcement of the resumption of service at that time, which is what we expected. And now it's more about, we'll return to service when the health and safety protocols are there, the consultations with the CDC and other regulatory and government officials and so forth, when it's the right time, as opposed to setting a line in the sand and doing, a set date and then going forward. So I think we've learned over time on that. I will tell you, we're not sailing now. We will sail again, and we're excited when that happens and preparing for that.
So you were in the process of launching a new ship when the crisis hit. What's happened to those plans, and when will that relaunch be? Well, I'm not asking you when. I already know the answer to that.
Correct. Yeah, you're not getting that one. Nice try though, and coming back a different way. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well done. Yes. It's another part to this whole experience that to me is really, really important to understand. In terms of 4 months ago now, we launched Seven Seas Splendor, which was our 5th ship and a sister ship to Seven Seas Explorer, which we launched, I would say, fairly successfully back in 2016 to set the new standard of luxury cruising. And I will tell you, we even topped her with Seven Seas Splendor. And our mantra on that particular ship was luxury perfected. We had to come up with something that would overcome how we positioned the launch of Explorer, which we built as the most luxurious ship ever built. How you top that is a bit of a challenge. Now, the team did, and that's why we went with Celebrate Luxury Perfected. The spaces on board Seven Seas Splendor are both elegant and residential. All the wonderful things that we've learned through Explorer and the rest of our fleet have been brought to life on Seven Seas Splendor. So we had an amazing christening here in Miami towards the end of February. We had many advisors, opportunity to sail on her for a quick little bit, and then we had plans for having more on board. Now we had to shelve some of those, but we're excited to come back and show off Seven Seas Splendor, because it's not just the ship, and this is a really, really key point. When we launched Explorer and we reset the bar for luxury, it wasn't just a one ship, a one-trick pony, if you will. Same with Splendor. The entire fleet has been enhanced and elevated. So whenever you put clients on board Regent Seven Seas Cruises, you can feel confident in the luxury, the elegance, the service throughout the fleet, not just on the newest vessels. And that's really important.
I'm pausing here because I can't remember. If that ship was your newest, you don't have any others coming up?
We have plans for one that the next version in the Explorer class, if you will, that was for 23, has not been announced yet, and now we'll see what happens.
Try to describe to us, tell us what the new normal is going to be like. What's the new health and safety protocols you're developing on your fleet going to be that reassures guests?
That's a really important question, and something obviously at Regent Seven Seas Cruises, and frankly throughout the cruise industry, the hygiene, sanitation, health and safety protocols were already exceptionally strong. But in this new normal, whatever that may be, customers, your clients, they're going to have those questions. And we're working towards those answers. We have been working with the CDC, foreign officials, regulatory people, and so forth, and our own operational people, along with some other industry experts, to develop some health and safety protocols, all the while recognizing there is not an endpoint. This will be an evolution. So we are working towards making sure that those enhanced health and safety protocols are inspiring confidence both for you and for your clients. And for us, we're focusing really on three key areas that, in listening to you, seem to be the most prevalent. For that, that's safety on our ships, safety for our guests, and safety for our crew. One of the things, Alan, that I am very impressed upon throughout this whole experience is how advisors and clients alike are so concerned with the fate, health, and so forth of crew members. In the past, it was kind of back of the house. Yes, they appreciated it. They had great service and so on and so forth. But now within that environment, clients want to make sure that the entire footprint is following that. So we've got protocols that we are establishing to ensure their own health and safety for our team members as well. But such things in terms of, certifying that the ships will be virus-free upon return to service, staggered embarkations, obviously no-touch food service, and so forth. There's a number of those elements that are coming up. And so we have them all available on our website, and increased social distancing throughout. Now, I'll tell you, Alan, one of the great strengths of our particular brand is that we are already a very spacious and intimate fleet. So our largest ship carries 750 guests. We have numerous 5 dining choices and so forth. So to incorporate effective social distancing is not necessarily easier than others, but we can, because there's not so many limitations. And with over 95% of our suites having balconies, there's a lot of air, but we're already improving the filtration system and so forth. So there will be a number of protocols in place for your clients to feel comfortable, because at the end of the day, this is about all of us inspiring greater consumer confidence that they're making an effective and smart buying decision. There is great cruise sentiment out there. People want to come back. They just want to feel safe about it. And I'll tell you, one of the great things, and for us, and I'm not sure if you've talked to Frank or even to Jason, this is a personal mission whereby they want to be able to, and Frank in particular tells the story exceptionally well, where he wants to speak to his grandkids and tell them, you're going to be as safe on my ship, if not safer, than at home. And he means it. And that goes all the way through the organization. When you treat guests, crew members, and so forth as family, as we do, the dedicated protocols and disciplines in place to make that happen without compare. So we will be back when we're ready and when it's right, and have the right protocols in place.
And if someone wanted to look up those protocols, is there a web address?
There is. It's at rssc.com/health and safety protocols. It's certainly on rssc.com. And then for advisors, it's really easy. There's a rssc.com/Regent Forward, which is a landing page that we talk about both health and safety protocols, FAQs on FCCs, the recent voyage suspension, all the benefits that they need right there in one place. rssc.com/Regent Forward.
Okay, now what should travel advisors be doing to get ready to sell Regent again, or are they already booking for late 20 and 21?
I'll tell you, they already are, and there's no time like the present. But I also, and this is where one place where I try and with my own team discussions and so forth, recognize everyone's in a different place, both advisors and their clients. But we're seeing great numbers for 21 in particular and into 22. But there is a lot of pent-up demand for 2021. Specifically for us, Europe, of course, is a big part of our portfolio, and Northern Europe in particular, where Seven Seas Splendor will be next summer, Very, very hot there. And then also in Alaska, where we'll have Seven Seas Explorer for the summer of 21. So there are great opportunities. And we've got some programs in place right now whereby we came out with a program called Return with Regent, which was to inspire advisors and consumers when they're ready to come back to us. And that provides reduced deposits, $1,000 per suite shipboard credit, but also a program called Regent Reassurance, which enables the customer to cancel up to 15 days prior to departure and receive 100% future cruise credit so that they can buy with confidence. And that helps you, the advisor, and then also the customer feel better about that buying decision. And in addition, for advisors, recognizing and trying to recognize some of the frustrations that they're going through, we're offering a $100 gift card for every new booking that's paid now. Don't have to wait till sailing and so forth. So upon deposit, we are going to be sending those out. So
that's great. I'm sure they're happy to hear that. So now, do you have any final messages going? We're going out to over 100,000 travel advisors. What do you want to tell them in part?
I think the best way for me to tell them in parting is first by beginning with thank you. We appreciate the loyalty that you provide to Regent Seven Seas Cruises. I couldn't be here without you. My kids thank you. My wife thanks you. But more importantly, your clients thank you for affirming the choices that they're making and for directing them to making the right choice with cruising with Regent Seven Seas Cruises. You've made a smart decision, both in your professional decision making, but also for them. You're bringing dreams to life, and we cannot lose sight of that. It's funny because throughout this experience, and everybody goes through it differently, but I'm trying to learn a lot, as I do often, from my kids. And we shouldn't lose sight of, as hard as this is, that we're fortunate to be in this business. We need to be appreciative of who we are, who we work with. You have choices. We would love to be your luxury cruise choice. Thank you for all of that.
Wow. Well said. Well, Randall, I'm wishing you luck on this return to cruising. I hope you can figure out where and when so that we can all report when we want to report it here. I'm glad you're safe and well, and thank you for talking to us.
My pleasure, Alan. Thank you for the time. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a great day.
And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.